Want a real vibes only, unfiltered take on just about anything and everything? Entrepreneur, best-selling author, speaker, and busy mom, Chelsea Husum shares her unapologetic views about life, business, and this beautifully imperfect hot mess world we face each and every day with lip service and lashes. Now here's your host, Chelsea Husum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm Chelsea Husum, your host. You guys, today we have Amanda Riffee here. She is an internationally certified executive coach for women. She's also a thought leader and event speaker with a business degree and 17 years of corporate experience. She is the host of the Unleashing You with Amanda Riffee podcast, a happy wife, a mom of two. Her mission is to help women unlock their mindset, see their worth, and create a career and life they love. No burnout required. I think we can all use that. Amanda resides in Colorado with her family, actually just down the street from me, and loves traveling to new places while spending time with other powerhouse women who are passionate about personal growth and enjoying this beautiful life. I love it so much. Amanda, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. Yes, this is great. I was on your podcast a little while ago. I'm like, okay, I need you on mine. Like, let's do this. So
yes.
Well, okay. So you're doing all the things. First, I want to start, if you're in Denver and you're listening, I want to talk about this so I don't forget because it's really important and I'm going to this. So you have an event coming up early in 2025. So if you're in Denver and you're listening, I would like to say, who is this event for? And then tell us all about it. So there's still time to get tickets if you want to join us.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for leading with this. I love it. Yeah, so the event is called Unleashing You Live, and it is here in Denver, as you mentioned, February 2nd and 3rd of 2025. And the event is for career-driven women. So you could be on the corporate track, you could be a business owner, you could be an aspiring business owner, maybe wanting to start that side hustle. No matter where you are, this is the event where you are going to leave feeling so lit up, so inspired, so connected to what, a few hours before were strangers to you. And not only that, but also leave with the roadmap for your own next steps. So whether that is moving up to the next level in your career, doing a whole pivot or career change, or building that business, writing your first book, like who knows what your goals might be, but you're going to walk away with that customized plan for your next level. And in addition to that, we have so much fun. There's workshops, there's journaling, there's reflection. There's female-owned pop-up shops where we have really big breaks where we can mingle, we can shop, we can support other women-owned businesses. It's just, we call it the best Monday you've ever had because it is just so much fun.
Yeah, I can see. I was like, ooh, Monday. I like that. I like starting a week off like that.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. So if you're listening, if you are, if that describes you, please, I already got my ticket. I can't wait, but please come there. I go to a lot of events that are out of Denver, and it's so nice to have one that's here, right? That really fits our needs. So I love that.
Yes,
Yay.
absolutely.
Okay.
And if you're not in Denver, that's okay too. Actually, I pulled the numbers from last year and 47% of the participants flew in from other states, which is so cool.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yes. And we're having it at the Raleigh Hotel. So it's very easy. You can stay right within all of the action. So if you are flying in from out of state, don't let that deter you.
Yes.
Many, many people are doing the same thing.
Yes. And then you could be like me when I go out of state and I get my king bed and I starfish sleep and I don't have my husband snoring and it's glorious. So just use that as an incentive. It's amazing.
I do the exact same thing.
Yeah. You're like, damn, I slept real good. I love you, honey, but why? Why do you snore so much? All right. So thank you for that. I want to jump right in. So for women who feel like there's something more, but might feel lost, what advice would you give them?
Ooh, and I love that we didn't prep any of these questions. So
no,
who
we
knows
didn't.
the
I
answers
just
that I'm
am
going to
throwing
say.
them at you. You're like, oh God.
Yeah. So if you are feeling that call for something more, but you're not really sure what the heck that is, that is where you can actually do some self coaching on you. And what I would say there is ask yourself some questions around, like, if money was no problem, how would I be spending my time? What would I be doing? What would my day to day look like? Or if I was guaranteed to succeed, what would I try? What would I be doing?
I love
It's
that.
going to give you, you might not walk away with an exact job title or business name, but it's going to start to guide you in the direction of the things that really light you up, the type of day. Maybe you want to work from home. Maybe you want to be able to pick up your kids from school. Maybe you want to be able to travel on your own terms, whatever that might look like. But it's going to start to give you kind of that list of things that you love. I always think about it as like on the show House Hunters, where
I love
they
that
start
show.
out with their like wish list of like, I
Yes.
want a 2-car garage. I want, close to the city. I want this, I want that. You're creating your wish list for what is next for you. So really think about the answers to those questions. Also think about your strengths and the things that come pretty easy to you. So they might seem a little simple. Maybe you're really good at planning events. Maybe you're really good at with numbers, or, who knows?
Yeah.
Or things that people come and ask for your advice on. Those are all going to point you in the right direction for what is next for you.
I love that. It is true, to see, because there is something that people come to you often for. Like everyone has that, right? That you're like, oh, if you think about it, you're like over and over, this is what I'm hearing or getting asked, right? I
Yeah.
love that. I love House Hunters. Every time the Mexico one, I'm like, let's just sell everything and move. I can't
Right?
anymore. I need to just do that. And then I'm
so
like
true.
literally looking at houses like, oh God.
I love it.
Oh, yes. I could live on a beach for sure. All right. I know you like to talk about this. So how do you step into fear when
Ooh.
something is like so unknown and scary? How do you attack that and approach it?
Great question. I love you said that. I love talking about this because I literally have it tattooed down my arm that says,
that's great.
feel the fear and do it anyway.
I love that.
And that was number one. That started as a reminder for myself because I wasn't always that person. And I think that's important because people see that as part of me now, which I love, but it wasn't always part of me. I was very much the person that felt like I needed to prepare everything first, or I needed to learn more, or I needed to feel 100% comfortable before I did something new. And when I first started my business and I started getting certified as a coach was actually when this forced me to do it differently. But from the very first day, I was in a class with other aspiring coaches, and they told us, okay, you need to start reaching out and getting some practice clients to coach because you're going to be coaching them throughout this whole program. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, no.
I just get the certificate?
I do the program, I get certified, then I coach people.
Right.
And they're like, no, like you learn this as you are doing it. And that was the very first time that I was like, okay, this is going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
And with every step afterwards, what I realized was my growth was probably quadruple what it would have been if I had just kept waiting until I felt more prepared or more ready, because I was learning so much by being scared, being uncomfortable, and just doing it anyway. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the key I've been missing for so long.
Yes.
And why I encourage other people to do that, because we just want to wait until we feel ready. And I know you know this, like we're never going to feel ready to do the next thing.
Yeah, never.
Yeah. So if it feels exciting to you, but it also feels scary, that's natural. And the way you're going to build that confidence is by doing it and doing it scared. You know, we think about like this podcast or speaking events or, you know, a presentation at work. You have to have your first one before you can have your 100th one.
Exactly.
And your 100th one is going to be a heck of a lot better than your first one, but you're never going to get there if you don't just start and don't just start scared.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of us women, if I know we're like this, like we could plan all day long. I am a planner. I have my paper planner. I love it. It's amazing. But I mean, we can sit and dissect it and plan, like stop, just freaking do it at this point, right?
Yeah. And that's, somebody asked me the other day, which was such a great question. They're like, what type of clients do you really love working with? Like, you know, we know who my niche client is and all of that, but like, who do you really love working with the most? And I had to think about it. And I said, you know what? The people I really love working with are the action takers, because we all have big dreams and we can talk about those big dreams in a safe environment. But then we have to actually follow it up with the action and make it a reality. So there is a lot of that, like you said, that planning, moving through the inner work, you know, getting through our mindset blocks, all of that. But then we got to do the thing.
You just got to take the action. And we're like, stop trying to be perfectionists. Like, it's never going to be perfect. And this, I'm going to share this because I was laughing with my podcast editor. So my podcast is obviously new. I'm recording some on my computer, but then I'm trying to record just some on my phone when I'm out and about, right? So apparently he told me that when I do that, I'm supposed to put the phone like the long way horizontally. Which I definitely didn't listen and I didn't hear that. So I recorded like 3 episodes with it up and down, and then I uploaded into the podcast, you know, website, and it's like showing me like right here. And I'm like,
only half your
hey, Adam, can you help me out with that? Or he's like, I told you not to do that. I'm like, well, clearly I didn't listen. And, you know, I'm just going to look so stupid, but whatever. I did it. It's out there. It's so imperfect, but like, I'm like, you're an idiot, but just whatever. It's out there. I'm not trying to be perfect. It's better than getting it out in the world than trying to be perfect about it.
Yeah. What I love about that story is, number one, the stories that you need to tell, the messages that you had to tell are still getting out there. Like,
exactly.
That is still happening. And 2, you are probably never going to forget to turn your phone horizontally.
I have a sticky note.
That's how we learn. We learn best by doing it and trying it and trial and error and what works and what doesn't work and taking that messy action. So, I mean, I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, I have a sticky note, like turn the phone. And really, I'm like, I'm not going to re-record those episodes because I truly feel like when I get on and ramble, what's meant to come out comes out. And I it's not like rehearsed. I just sit and talk and whatever. I'm not going to try to re-record those because what I meant to say the first time came out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Agreed.
That's funny.
Completely agree. Yeah, you're just doing it anyway.
Yep. All right, let's see. What is a big pivot you've had to do in life or business? Because you're a mom as well. You're doing all the things. And what did that teach you?
Ooh, you're on fire with these questions. Okay. The first pivot that comes to mind for me, because we all know there's many. There are many all the time.
They never stop.
Yeah. The first, or the big one that comes to mind for me was, as you mentioned, even when you were reading my bio, like I've been in corporate for 17 years. 16 of those were with the same company. So I was like corporate girl through and through, working my way up the corporate ladder. And when I felt that pull for something more and I didn't know what it was, and I did that soul searching and went through some of those coaching questions that we talked about at the beginning.
Yep.
And realized that coaching was the thing I wanted to try. And I emphasize try because I didn't know. I had no idea if it was going to work or if I was going to like it. Yeah. But that was what I wanted to try. I just felt like there was something there. And so that was a big pivot for me because I was really stepping into something I did not know. I was investing financially. At that time, it was the biggest financial investment I had ever made in something like that. Yeah. And the more I got into it, the more I loved it, the more I was like, this is my path. And then what followed was just a series of pivots because I was still working full time in my old career while figuring all of this stuff out on the side. And this is one of the things that I work on a lot with my clients. A lot of my clients are similar to me in the fact, like we've got the corporate job, but now I want to start this thing on the side. And some people can just up and quit that job and go all in on that business. But that's not the reality for all of us. And no like amount of mindset work is going to make that different, because we got bills to pay and we have a lot of things we have to do.
It was not like that for me either. I had to work 2 jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I help my clients with now is recognizing each one of those levels of that next pivot. Yeah. So what I was able to do was, I of course was working alongside doing both things for a while. And then I was like, okay, like something's got to give. I can't grow this anymore without more time in my week. Yeah. And so I went to my company and I proposed, I said, hey, like I will stay in this job. My team is running really well. Everything's going really well. I would like to go down to 32 hours a week.
Oh, I love that.
And so I worked 4 days a week for them doing the same job, but I also had to reduce my salary by 20%. At the same time, working 1 less day a week. So even though it was like a win, yes, I'm getting a whole day to work in my business, it still felt really scary because we relied a lot on my paycheck and I was reducing that. And then the next step from there was pivoting to being hourly and moving into a coaching role. So there's a lot of things that have gone into my story. I didn't just wake up one day, go all in on my business and have, the business that I have today. It took a lot of pivoting and a lot of scary moments to get there. And that's what I love to help women navigate for themselves, because their path's not going to look the exact same as mine, but we have different ways where we can stretch ourselves enough where we know that's the next scary step, but you don't have to just jump all the way off that cliff.
Well, I love that you said that. It's so true, because we do have bills to pay. You can't just be like, I'm just going to try this and there's no money coming in. And maybe someone doesn't have a partner to, maybe it's not a dual income household. Right. That's scary. Like we all have different situations, but it's like, can you suck it up for a little while, believing so much in that next dream? I remember crying in my office, like doing payroll for the other company I worked for at like 11 p.m., like crying, like, oh my God. It was during COVID too. We're all home and I'm like, I'm losing my damn mind, and it sucked. But at some point I was able to step away. But then also the reality of owning a business, you're not going to be like, today's day 1 and I just made $1 million, or even you probably aren't even going to get paid.
I don't think I made $100.
Yeah, you're going to, if this is a scary step, but you can't probably pay yourself right away. Yep. You're putting all this money out into the business. It's scary, but it is. If you're willing to hustle, right?
Yeah. And I'm not even completely on the other side of that. And I think that I don't know that we ever will be completely on the other side of that, because I think about where I am now, a past version of me dreamed of being at this stage. Yes. Where then there's a future version of me that I'm like, all right, let's get to this. Let's get to that. Let's get to, making that $1 million. Let's get to, all of those things. But I have to slow down and say, you know what? There was a version of me that wanted to be exactly where I am right now. Yes. And just really bringing that gratitude and that appreciation for where we are. Yep. While also knowing that there's still good, like even when I make that $1 million, guess what? My investments are going to be way higher too. Exactly. So there's still always going to be that risk reward, that fear, all of those things. It's not like you turn on a light switch and all of a sudden you never have to pivot again, or you never have to be afraid again.
Well, and I've heard so many stories, like Rachel Hollis, for example, when her first book came out many years ago, people were like, this woman just blew up. She came from nowhere. And she's like, y'all, I've been doing this 10 years. Y'all think I'm just this overnight success, and I've been putting in the work. So we constantly are having to put in the work, but believing in what you're doing makes it worth it.
It does. It does. And I think the work feels different when it is something that you
Totally.
love. Not I think, it does. It feels
Totally
way different when
does.
it's something that you love. If it
Yes.
doesn't drain you in the same way, you actually want, like, I have to set boundaries for myself because I want to keep working on it
Me too.
all the
I know. I'm
time.
like, get out of the office. Like, just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally true though. You don't like, I remember those days of Sunday night when, and that's so typical, like, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. And like, it just didn't align. And there is so much beauty in owning your schedule. And yes, you do have literally everything on the line also. So we're kind of batshit crazy as entrepreneurs. We're a
A
special
little
kind
bit.
of crazy.
It's a breed.
Yeah. We're people are like, that doesn't sound fun at all.
But somehow it is. It's kind of like parenthood, how like when you're not a parent, you hear everybody just like complaining about that. And then you're like, but I love my kids more than anything. Like you can't understand.
Yeah. It's the best thing of my life, but they drive me insane. Yeah. I know.
Yes.
So
but
true.
I also do firmly believe that we can do this without burning out. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be seasons where, okay, yeah, I just have to work a little bit more, or, you know, I have to step back a little bit more because my family needs me more, all of those types of things. But I really do believe in setting up a business from the very beginning that is going to work for your life.
Yes.
And not try to fit your life into the nooks and crannies of your business.
Yes, I literally say that all the time. Like, what are your non-negotiables? What are your priorities? You got to fill it in around that, because I don't want to quote, like someday be quote successful. The business is successful and I turn around, my health's failed, my family hates me, I'm getting divorced. Like, I just hate my life. But you actually, I think we both do. It's never perfect, but I truly think we both have kind of figured it out that we do a pretty good job of like living now and enjoying it now. And we still have so much more to go and grow.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. My next question, because you're a mom, how do you make sure your kids know you're a priority despite your busy schedule? Because we could work forever. There's never like a not having a to-do list, right? So how do you make sure your kids, like, how do you have good family time and honor your boundaries despite being so busy?
I love this so much because it's one thing to be like, yeah, I really prioritize family. And again, going back in my personal story, there were many years where in corporate, I was in my dream job, and I will still say it was my dream job, but I was sacrificing a lot for that job. And it had nothing to do with the company. I signed up for all of it. I said yes to all of it. And I just thought that's what we had to do to be successful, because I had seen so many, men in my life do that and have that represented before, that I was like, there's no difference. It's just the mom making the sacrifices this time instead of the dad. And my philosophy has completely changed on that topic. And I believe that we can be a present parent, a present partner, friend, daughter, whatever, and still run a successful business. And so to answer your question, and like you said, I am never perfect. So if my kids are listening, they're like, oh, Mom, you don't even do that. Like, I'm sure they could find a
why are you
random
listening?
That I don't do that. But I block my calls so that they are during the times that they are at school, for the most part. I do have a couple international calls, so I'll have some in the evenings, but those are few and far between. Okay. So I batch my calls between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Because that is when they are at school. And then I make sure that, to your point earlier, I block time for soccer practices, football practices, physical therapy appointments, guitar lessons, all of those things. It means a lot to me that I'm able to be done, at least on the phone, at those times, so that I can be the one that can drive them around to do all those things. Because when they were little, I couldn't do that. I was gone a lot and I was traveling a lot. So it's really important to me to do that. And then I always make sure that, especially on the weekends, like, we have dedicated time where, like, if my son says, hey, you want to watch a movie with me? I'm going to drop everything I'm doing to go watch that movie, because I can tell, especially the older they are, my kids are a freshman and sixth grader. And the older they are, the less and less they want to do that kind of stuff with you. And so I really watch for those cues. Like I can tell, if my youngest is like just getting closer in the room to me or asking me to do something with them, I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing. Now, it doesn't mean I never work in the evenings or even on the weekends, because right now I still do that. But I'm conscious of like, am I just getting up early and everybody else is still sleeping, or is everyone kind of doing their own thing and I'm not missing anything if I'm working on my book or if I'm doing whatever? But it's very intentional. I try to pick those times where I'm not going to miss the game, the practice, the quality time with them.
Yes, I love that. And it isn't perfect, but you have to be mindful about it at least. And I used to do calls or different things in the evening. I don't do that. I just won't anymore. I'm like, no, I don't. I am in the office enough. Like I just don't want to. So I just say no. And I schedule exactly like you, like as much as humanly possible during the day. And I've even like started getting my hair done during the day when they're at school. And I literally take my laptop and I work. And my hair lady, Jen, and I, we just sit and talk business and like all the life. And I just sit on my laptop and work and take calls while I'm getting my hair done. Cause I'm like, that works. I'm in here for like 2.5 hours. Might as well bust some stuff out, right? So I don't have to do it later.
Yeah, okay. I love that.
Well, so you brought up your book. What can you tell us about your book?
Oh, yeah.
However deep or whatever you want to go. That's exciting.
Yeah. My book will be launching in 2025. I don't want to say the month yet because
that's fine.
Those timelines can definitely change. Yeah. I have it where I have it planned out, but 2025 for sure is when my book will be launching. And it's really the guidebook for the mission of my business. It is creating your big dreams. It is creating a career and life that works for you, that feels really, really good without the burnout, without the guilt, without the sacrifice. So it's a compilation of my stories, my client stories, like really pull out the lessons in each one of those, the thing that you can like put on a Post-it on your computer or write a marker on your mirror. And then each chapter also has a self-directed coaching exercise with it as well, so that you can really put it into action. As we were talking about before, it's one thing to just absorb the information. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that feels really inspiring. But now let's do something with it. Let's actually put it into action.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait. I'm totally buying that. So you all need to follow her just so we can see when it's coming out and I'll get it. Okay, last question I want to hear, and then we're going to hear more how we can support you. But so this is a question I'm going to start, I think, asking everyone.
all the moms. I'm the first one. Oh my gosh.
Yes, you are. Because I mean, I have so many. What is a mom fail you've had? And it could be really inappropriate. It could be ridiculous, funny, just because mine are absolutely ridiculous that I share on here. So the bar is set real like low for no judgment. There's no judgment.
Oh, mom fail. Oh my gosh. Here's what comes to mind for me. Like my teenager, I feel like he points out my mom fails to me every day. So you're not even epic anymore because it's like every day I'm doing something wrong. I mean, I could be driving. He'd be like, you could have gone. I don't know what you were waiting for. Like that car, like you could have pulled out, or you're going over the speed limit, or
my kids say that too.
Limit, or you're going like whatever I'm doing, I am not doing it correctly.
Oh yeah.
And it could be as simple as like, here's the thing. I accidentally shared my location with my oldest son. The intention was just that we would have his location. He didn't need to know where we were at all times. But I accidentally must have shared it with him a long time ago. And sometimes I forget that he can see my location. So I'm like, I'm on the way. And then he's like, no, you're not. You're still sitting at your desk. And I'm like,
you're going to be late again, Mom. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So I think that is, he just really keeps me humble and points out my fails always.
Constantly. You're like, thanks, child. Thanks. Yeah. That was me sitting like last night. I had a wine night. So I got home a little later and then I'm sitting on the couch, like catching up on some stuff. And my husband's like, what time do we have to get Owen from basketball? I'm like, like 2 minutes ago. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot about you.
Right? It's like, I'm sorry, I was already here. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. I have your location.
That's funny. I actually really forgot Owen a couple weeks ago because he gets out early on Wednesdays. Or no, I had to pick him up on a Friday, and he normally gets a ride home. And me and my other son like went to check my mail. We literally got, the three of us, ice cream, came home, and we're in the house like, Owen, where are you? Are you here? And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to pick him up. And we were just right by the school, and it didn't even like register in my brain. And I was like, I'm the worst. And I came over and I'm like, hey, bud, mom, I didn't like totally forget about you because I got you ice cream.
Right.
But
I did forget I was the one picking you up.
I know. I'm just because it's out of the usual and my brain is fried at that point.
And we are human. Like,
yeah,
there's so much that we are juggling and scheduling and planning and remembering that I'm like, you know what? If the fact that I was 5 minutes late is the worst thing that happened to you,
we're
this
doing
week,
great.
I think we're doing okay.
That's a win, actually, a mom win for me.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I know. We could like those. Everyone has those. So you just got to laugh because otherwise we are past the point of beating ourselves up for that stuff. That's ridiculous.
For sure.
Okay.
I just hope I'm not messing them up too bad. That's my goal in life.
I know. We're trying. We're doing our best. It could be worse. It could be worse. So tell everyone, how can we support you? And then where can our listeners find out more about you? Because we need to know, y'all need to follow her for this event, the book, and and her podcast. Okay. So tell everyone where we can find you and how we can support you.
Well, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
The easiest place to connect with me is going to be on Instagram. That's at Amanda Riffee _coaching. Because I will put all my stuff on there. But yeah, 2025 has a lot in store.
Yes.
We have the live event. We have the book, which is going to come with a mini book tour launch in a couple cities in the US, which I'm very, very excited about. Awesome. And then I'm also launching several new offers next year. Or in 2025. So I am pivoting and following the things that are really lighting me up. 2024, I tried a lot of things. And in 2025, I know I will still try a lot of things. But one of the biggest things that has my heart are my retreats. And
I was going to bring that up. Yes.
Having that intimate, high level type of experience. So be on the lookout for many more retreats next year. And with that, you should be able to find one that is tailored directly to you. So I'm doing more of them and much more custom experience for each one of them too.
Ooh, I can't wait. I watched like stalking you on Instagram about your last one. I'm like, that looks freaking amazing. So yes, follow her, check this out. And I will put all your links and stuff in the notes. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing. And we could go on forever, I feel like.
I feel so honored that you would be on one of your first episodes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. This is amazing. Just all the things that you are doing in this world are incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we connected. And yes, now we just get to cheer each other on with all the fun stuff we're doing. So Thank you for listening, everyone. This is another episode of Lip Service and Lashes. And always remember, no BS, just real vibes.
Thanks for listening to Lip Service and Lashes with Chelsea Husum. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about Chelsea and her life as a hot mess mompreneur, head over to chelseahusum.com. And be sure to follow her on all social platforms. Thanks for listening. And just remember, no BS, just real vibes.